Wicket.
Welcome to another Sticky Wicket. It's the official Somerset County Cricket Club podcast. I'm Ian Burridge. With me, as always, is Spencer Bishop. Hello.
Hello.
I say, what a wonderfully glorious summer's afternoon this is.
There are worse places I can think of being than what we're doing now. This is fantastic. This is work, apparently.
We've decided to record the podcast this time from one of the stands at the cricket ground, and we're overlooking the India team warming up, bit of practicing, a little bit of socialising, and they're playing football at the moment.
Absolutely. It's just a glorious day. We've got the world champions here warming up. What could be better? Well,
let's go through some of the bits and pieces, some of the news items that's happened surrounding the club over the last few weeks, or at least since the last podcast. And in complete and utter contrast, the Friends Life T20 season for Somerset has been very much weather affected. Complete contrast, I say, to today. But of course, over the last few weeks or so, it's not been the case here at the county ground, has it?
With the 4 rain-offs, 3 without a ball being bowled, and then the frustration of what happened with Sussex. Somerset have qualified for the quarter-finals, which is great news. But as we're recording this, there are still other teams out there to play their game, so whether we've got a home tie or an away tie is still to be decided.
And of course it is out of the players' hands, but given the fact that those 4 matches, we only received like 4 points collectively for them, to still be in the quarter-finals is a huge achievement.
Absolutely. I mean, Somerset have done fantastically well to secure a quarter-final without playing half the home games, which I think is a testament to how well the players have done this season. Also, as well, hats off to the fans. They've been absolutely brilliant sticking with us through the, I was going to say the thick and thin, more the thin of the weather, unfortunately, because you'd have expected them to have had the right ump by the time we got to Gloucester, but the place was absolutely packed, and the atmosphere here was absolutely superb. So a big thank you to all the fans who have stuck by us through this incredibly frustrating period. And of course, of those 4 home matches that were affected by rain, there wasn't a ball bowled in 3 of them. The 4th, we saw a huge total posted by Somerset in only 15 overs. And of course, players, fans, staff at the cricket club were all left frustrated when contentiously the game was abandoned, probably some would say 8 balls before it could have been called a match. Absolutely, that was frustrating for everyone, but we thought Somerset thought that we were going to win it. Sussex thought they were going to win it on the Duckworth Lewis. Obviously, the fans were frustrated because it ends up being another no result. But maybe it was the correct decision, because shortly after the players came off, the heavens opened and we had some more torrential rain. Cricket is never an exact science, and Mother Nature is a cruel mistress.
And this is what Marcus Trescothick had to say about it when he talked to Sky after that match against Sussex.
This is our 3rd Friday evening game. We've had one other Sunday game washed out. But to get so far in the game, we were very close to getting to the point of the result, but it wasn't to be. We're only 8 balls away, but not quite close enough.
Is it one of those situations where cricket is his own worst enemy, really, by sticking to the rules? A bit of common sense, perhaps, might have made a result possible?
Listen, I think the rules are set a long way in advance. I think we're all aware of what goes on. It's obviously quite a unique sport where you have the dictation of the weather sort of intervening, really. So I don't think it's as easy as trying to sort of just go with it and say, well, we're going to play 10 overs instead of 15. Because if the sun comes out, all of a sudden you're thinking, well, why haven't we played a 15-over game? So I don't think you can win in this situation. The umpires are in a tough enough spot as it is.
But, they could have said to you, perhaps, I know they can't, but come on, Trez, don't bring Steve Kirby on, put a spinner on and get a result somehow.
Yeah, listen, I don't think that would have worked, because that would have worked in Sussex's favour, I think, the way they played their first over. So I wouldn't have gone down that road anyway. But, what will be, will be. We can't control what goes on with the weather.
A great shame, because it was turning out to be a great game, wasn't it?
Yeah, potentially. We were right in a good occasion, really. Obviously, we got a decent total on the board, and getting a couple of early wickets really helped us. But with a good crowd here that we get generally on home games, it would have made for good entertainment, because they saw some good fireworks from Pollard in the first part, and it's a shame they didn't get to see the end result.
Sticky Wicket, and over with
Lewis Gregory, squad number 24.
What are you better known as around the club, and why?
I'm called Mowgli. Just something that when I was younger I used to look a little bit like Mowgli off the Jungle Book, and it's just stuck, really.
Which of Somerset's bowlers would you least like to face?
Alfonso Thomas. Facing him in the nets, he's a very canny character. He's not necessarily the quickest, but he knows what he's doing with the ball, swings it both ways, so very hard to face.
Who has the best sense of humour in the dressing room?
Peter Trigo. Just basically some of the comments he comes out with. He always keeps the dressing room entertained.
Describe the performance on the pitch you are most proud of so far in your career.
Have to say the game against Pakistan, where I took 4 wickets.
What was your first car and what are you driving now?
First car, I hate to say it, was a Ford Ka. And I'm currently driving a Renault Clio.
What are your goals this season?
Try and break into the first team, and when I get in the first team, go out, perform, and put in great performances with both bat and ball and in the field.
Somerset County Cricket Club. Sticky wicket.
Back to bringing you up to date with what's been going on at the county ground then. And of course, if you can't complete a home match at the county ground, well then you move home, surely.
Oh, absolutely. Let's go to Bath. It never rains in Bath.
And it didn't rain on the evening that we went to Bath. Went and played Essex there as well. And I think you'll find a lot of the players would say as well, not our best performance.
No, it didn't go according to plan. I think the whole operation, if you look at the whole day as an operation, I think it was probably a success. It looked fantastic. It was always going to be a bit of an unknown quantity moving a cricket to a rugby pitch, but I think as a spectacle, I think it worked. Unfortunately, the result didn't quite go as we'd wanted, but as I say, as a spectacle, I think it worked quite well.
And from a fan's point of view, as indeed I am, you are, we all are, it's always, okay, so you have a bad performance, but it's great to hear the players acknowledge that and feel so passionate about it. Here's what Steve Kirby had to say after that performance in Bath against Essex.
Shocking, really, really embarrassing, really all round. From a bowling perspective, fielding perspective, everything. All avenues. Lads really didn't deliver tonight, myself included. And the only thing we can do now is swallow that. Really apologise to the rest of the fans for a shocking performance, and come back very strong tomorrow.
Is that you personally, or is that as a team, as a collective, you felt that?
Well, as a personal point of view, you can only look at your own performance and see what you can contribute. I just didn't contribute tonight. I just didn't get the length right that I bowled on the wicket. But listen, at the end of the day, things like this happen. But we know we've got 3 big games coming up, and we know that we got to get back on the horse very quickly, because we're right back in the pack now for qualifying. And we will be doing that, I can assure you. There's enough characters in that dressing room to show that. So just watch this space for the next few games.
Sticky wicket.
Somerset are into the final.
Round the ground.
As always in these podcasts, we like to have a look at what else goes on at the cricket club off the pitch. So Round the Ground this week catches up with Somerset County Cricket Club's Head of Conferences and Banqueting, Brian Lee. Well, Brian, what is your role here at the cricket club?
My job is to sell and market non-match day events, weddings, conferences, Christmas parties, general, anything not cricket related.
Well, there isn't a cricket match going on now, but why then have we got women walking around in wedding dresses, confetti being thrown all over the place, and Nick Compton looking like he's the happiest man in the world?
We have put a wedding show on with Wedding Whispers, promoting Somerset's facilities for a wedding venue during the summer months and also non-summer months.
So it is a proper, fully fledged wedding venue. You can have your wedding party overlooking the hallowed turf of Somerset County Cricket Club.
Since it's a £1.5 million new development, we are pushing our wedding business, as you say, the perfect venue to get married, the wedding breakfast, the conference, the Christmas party. We are open all year round. It's not just a cricket club.
But of course, you guys are active in the long room and the county room as well during match days. Also, you put on food for members and non-members. What sort of things are available on match days?
On match days, we have a fabulous carvery in the county room. We have a cider barn. We have outlets all around the ground, particularly with the 2020 campaign. So it's just a venue for all occasions. What are you doing here, Nick?
I'm here to be the groom for 10 lovely brides. Like all Christmases have come at once. I can't believe my luck. I walked in here and wasn't quite sure what to be prepared for, but in front of me were 10 lovely brides, all done up and ready to go. And I think my own real wedding is probably quite a long way away, and I think for that reason it was quite a nervous experience.
Well, good luck for the rest of the evening, and enjoy the wedding night as well.
No, I can't wait. I think it'll be fantastic. The venue looks great. You've got the backdrop of Somerset County Cricket Ground, and it's a beautiful evening, so I couldn't think of a better place to be.
Somerset County Cricket Club. Sticky wicket.
Let's talk about some returning players as well, because helping the Friends Life T20 season here at the county ground has been the return of Kieran Pollard.
He's just brilliant. There's no two ways about it. And what a player. He's great with the bats. That last over he bowled against Gloucestershire, that was just brilliant. The change of pace, superb. And he certainly hits the ball. I think the funniest thing I've seen this season was against Sussex, when he's absolutely crashed a ball. Him and Marcus were batting, and he's crashed a ball towards a boundary, and Marcus is 3/4 of the way down the pitch shouting, yes, yes, and Kieran's just gone, no need. So both batsmen have ended up at the same end, because Marcus has gone for the runs and Kieran's just gone, I won't worry about it. That's boundary all the way.
He knows, doesn't he? He feels like he knows even before he's hit the ball. One of the things that really impressed me was him warming up ahead of his first match back. It was the abandoned game against Sussex, and because the covers were still on while the team were warming up, the nets were positioned in front of the old pavilion, and no word of a lie, not once but twice he hit the ball beyond the boundary outside the Sir Ian Botham stand. Now that man can hit a ball.
He certainly can, and apparently he's great in the dressing room as well. It's just incredible how someone who appears so laid back can be quite so brutal.
Yeah, the Somerset crowd love you being back in the county. The reception you got on your opening performance was something quite special, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was special for me. Just stepping out there again and putting on the clothes of Somerset, and the fans being behind me. The reception is good.
And of course we welcome back Murali Kartik as well, who world class when it comes to his bowling.
There's no two ways about it. He is a world class spin bowler, whether it's 4-day cricket, 1-day cricket, whether it be 40 overs or 20 overs. He's just world class. It's a term that is maybe often overused, but there's just no two ways about it. He is an incredibly influential player with the ball, and I think occasionally his batting is overlooked as well. He may not score that huge numbers of runs, but he does have that sort of stickability. He is able to hang around for a little bit, which always helps lower down the order.
Now you mentioned world class and bowling. That leads us very neatly on to a young man called Arul Sapaya, who, he's got himself a world record.
Absolutely. I was suggesting that he get some business cards printed up saying Arul Sapaya world record holder. It's incredible. Figures of 6 for 5 off less than 4 overs is just astonishing. I think it did slightly scupper his plans as well. I think he was planning to go to the cinema the day after he'd done that, but ended up having to do lots of press.
Oh, how terrible.
The life of a record breaker is very tricky.
I think it came about at just the right... I think that was a match-turning, if not season-turning moment, because we were on the cusp. And it did feel like at the time, watching from afar, that we were on the cusp of maybe letting a quarter-final spot slipping away. And then those bowling figures came in, and suddenly it was back on.
A lot of people have talked about the pitch at the Glamorgan ground, but it was the same for both teams. And the ball that did for Simon Jones was just extraordinary. When you've bowled an absolute beauty, when the batsman looks at the pitch, looks at his crumpled stumps, looks at the pitch again, and just stands there in disbelief. And you can't dispute, the figures speak for themselves. 6 for 5, that I think will stay in the record books for a very, very long time. And I think he deserves it. He's been an excellent servant to the club. He's a thoroughly nice bloke to boot.
Well, he is proving that point.
Plan was just about a couple of overs, one over, 2 overs, but I managed to get the wicket, so yeah, it helped.
So what kind of reaction did you get from the rest of Somerset scene when you came off the field? Because they must have known that it was something special as well.
Yeah, it's him really. He's the one who said, you might sort of check it on Cricket Archive. James Hildreth, check it on Cricket Archive and see if it's a world record. I sort of didn't believe it, and I thought it was just a joke or a bit silly to do that. But I just put my pads on to bat. But after the game, it got confirmed. So yeah, really pleased with that.
It's really caused a great deal of buzz around the place, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Obviously, it helps the club and sort of start putting the club into the global sort of place. And no, it's been really good.
It's been rather packed, this podcast, hasn't it?
Jam-packed, I think they say.
It's been very pleasant actually recording it outside in the sun, which, as we said earlier on in the podcast, makes a change this season at the county.